Hey guys, this is Miss A. Today we're starting a brand new topic. We're going to be solving percent problems. Please bear with me if this video is longer than the other ones typically were. This is just an extremely this is an extremely important topic that is not just multiplying or dividing. It actually, you have to read, you have to set up something in order to solve it. So just pay attention carefully, take good notes. My kids that are in person with me, you have this paper in front of you. Make sure you're filling it in. My kids that are at home, make sure you are taking notes in your own composition book or wherever you're taking notes. You are not expected to write down all of this stuff that's printed, but you are expected to write down anything that you find important or that you feel like you need to remember. And of course, anything that I write in pen. So let's get started. We will be setting up proportions to help us solve word problems involving percents. A proportion is two fractions that are set equal to each other. For example, 1/2 is equal to 5/10. The only difference is today we are going to have one of these numbers missing. So for example, it could be 1/2 is equal to x over 10. The x is what's known as a variable in math, and it represents an unknown value that we're solving for. Remember that every fraction is made up of a part and a whole. The part will always be your numerator, and the whole will always be your denominator. And of course, remember that a percentage is always out of the number 100. So we're going to see percents a lot today, and they're very important. They're literally going to set up half of our proportion for us. So if we're given the percent 12%, I can write that as a fraction because I know 12 is out of 100. So anytime you're given a percent, put a denominator of 100, and that is one of your fractions for you. Let's say I had 3%, then I would put 3 over 100. And if I was not given the percent, if the question said what percent is this or whatever, we wouldn't put a number over 100 because we don't know what it is. We would put x over 100. So anytime you don't know the percent, you put x over 100. Let's get into a couple examples. We're going to spend the next 3 days doing this topic, all leading up to your test that is on Thursday. Number 1 says, at the factory, 16% of the pins were defective. If there are 50 pins, how many were defective? So let's read this carefully and identify that important information. At the factory, 16% of the pins were defective. So 16% were defective. If there were 50 pins, how many were defective? So 50 pins. Does that say 50 defective pins? No. So this represents total pins. The question is, how many were defective? So what we're going to do is we're going to set up what's known as a WKU. This is the way I set up a proportion. Set up this way every single time. So if you need to, take a moment, pause, get this written down. W stands for our word ratio. K stands for our known ratio. And U stands for our unknown ratio, what we're solving for. And ratio is a fancy word for a fraction. So let's identify our word ratio or word fraction first. So what are the two words being compared? I know we're talking about pins, but we were talking about defective pins and total pins. Defective is going to be my part, so I'm going to put it here on top. And total will always be your whole. If they ever give you a total of something, it's always going to be your whole. All right, the next thing I should always look for is a percentage, which they gave me 16%. So I know 16% can be written as 16 over 100. So I'm going to put that in my known ratio because I know it. And this should match my words. 16 was defective, 16% were defective, 100 is my total. And the last thing I have to fill in is that number 50. We already said that 50 represented total pins. Totals at the bottom, so 50 goes at the bottom. And then put your X. Remember, if I'm going too fast, guys, just pause the video. It's more important that you are listening to what I'm saying than trying to keep up with me. So if you need to, pause it or rewind it if you have to, and then listen to what I'm actually saying. Now we're going to pull out the proportion, which is the number part. 16 over 100 equals x over 50. and we're going to solve it. So to solve this, we're looking for that relationship right here. Because the number got smaller, we're dividing by 2. 100 divided by 2 is 50. To keep it equivalent, we have to do the same exact thing on top. 16 divided by 2 will get me my answer of 8. Question was how many were defective, so 8 defective pins. All right, we're going to do one more example because I just don't want this video to be too long. And I'm going to show you 2 ways to solve this one. Macy raked 40% of the yard. So 40% was raked. The raked leaves filled up 12 bags. So again, this is also representing the ones that were raked. And the question is, how many bags will she need if she rakes the whole yard? So we want how many bags she'll need total. WKU, just like we do for every problem. So that is just the same. And then my word ratio, we're talking about leaves that were raked and then total leaves that were raked. So I'm going to put raked and I'm going to put total. Again, you should always look for a percent. I was given 40%, so 40 goes over 100, and that's known to me. So it goes in my known ratio. 40% was raked, which we said here. 100 is your total. And then where does the 12 go? Raked leaves filled up 12 bags. So it should go with your raked. Pull out that proportion. And now we can solve. But when you look here, there's no relationship going from 40 to 12. 40 divided by nothing will get me 12. That doesn't mean we did it wrong. We just need to simplify this fraction first. So what I'm going to do very quickly and easily is just cross off these zeros. That's the same thing as dividing by 10. Because they're at the end, we can do that. And now I see there's a relationship from 4 to 12. 4 times 3 equals 12. Same thing here, 10 times 3 gives me my answer of 30. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do the same exact thing to the other side. So this answer is 30 total bags. Alright guys, so that's the way how we solve it with the proportion. I'm going to show you one more way to solve it visually. This is going to be extremely helpful on your test on Thursday. So one other way we can do this is by looking at a strip diagram. Now this doesn't work every time, but whenever we have a percent like 40% or 20%, something that can easily be broken down or made into 100, this is going to be extremely helpful. So this represents one whole, so 0% and 100%. And the percentage I'm trying to get is 40. So I'm not going to do 40 because that'd be 40, 80, and then 120. But I am going to do it in sections of 20. They don't have to be perfect. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And then now the problem said that 40% was 12 bags. So right here, this is 12 bags. And if these are each equal, which we know they are because they're each 20%, 12 divided into 2 sections would be 6 and 6. So each one has to be 6. So when the question says how many bags will she need for the whole yard, you just add up how many bags are in all the sections. So 6 add it 5 times, or 6 times 5 would get me the answer of 30 total bags. And that's it. So I know we went through these rather quickly. And that's a lot of information, so it might be helpful to maybe get everything written down and then go back and watch it again without having to write anything down and listening to what I'm saying. But we are going to spend the next couple of days on this, okay? So make sure you have all this done. Y'all have a great day. Contact me if you have any questions, whether it be here in class or contact me on Zoom. Y'all have a great day. See you later. Bye.